Hello students. Now in continuation to the chapter, in the previous one we had discussed about the cathode rays, and now in today's lecture we are going to discuss about the anode rays. Okay, now we know that atom is electrically neutral. Okay, during an electric discharge in the cathode ray tube, when gaseous atoms ionize to form the electrons and positively charged residue, we saw that electrons were produced. Okay, fine. Now this gave an idea to the Goldstein that if there are negatively charged particles present, there must be positively charged particles present, and it will make the atom electrically neutral. So this idea led to the discovery of proton. So he again performed this Goldstein, he performed the experiment of discharge tube again, and in this discharge tube he made slight changes and he took a cathode which was perforated. Okay, the two electrodes were connected to a high voltage source, and in this discharge tube it was connected to the vacuum pump so that pressure can be lower, and we had already discussed why pressure was lower, so as to make the gaseous atoms which are present inside to make a good conductor of electricity. And one electrode was connected to the positive terminal, it was called as anode. One is connected to the negative terminal, that is called as cathode, and here the cathode was taken perforated, that means holes were there. Okay, now again when the same conditions were applied, that means high voltage and low pressure was maintained, the gas which is present inside this discharge tube, it ionized. Okay, and along with the cathode rays which were produced from negatively charged electrode, and they were moving towards the positively charged electrode, along with this there was a production of one more gas, and it was anode rays. Okay, so he observed that along with the cathode rays, anode rays were also formed. Okay, and these anode rays, they were formed in between the two electrodes, and it appears that they are coming from the side of the anode. Actually they are not produced at anode, but they are produced in the space between anode and the cathode, and they move from the side of anode towards the cathode. Okay, and these anode rays, they passes through the holes of this perforated cathode, so they were also called as canal rays. Okay, these anode rays, they were also called as canal rays because they passes through the holes of the cathode, and they were called as anode rays because they were moving from the side of anode towards the cathode. Okay, so the same experiment he performed, Goldstein, and he discovered the anode rays. Now we will discuss how they get originated. See students, we are saying that atoms of gases, they are neutral, and when they were bombarded by the cathode rays. What are cathode rays? They are the stream of negatively charged particles. So when the neutral atoms of the gas, they get bombarded by the cathode rays, the knockout of electrons takes place from these atoms, and electrons comes out. इलेक्ट्रॉन पे चार्ज कितना है हमारा? नेगेटिवली चार्ज है, so they are termed as negatively charged particles comes out, that is the electron. Along with this, ions were formed, and ions were of gas only, and they were positively charged. Okay, so in nutshell what we are saying, that anode rays were formed by the knockout of electrons, by the bombardment of negatively charged particles on the gaseous atoms, and they form the positively charged ions. Okay, so we can say that the anode rays are produced by the gaseous atoms which are present between the two electrodes. Okay, now when hydrogen gas was taken, hydrogen gas, so inside the nucleus we are having one proton and 0 neutron, and outside there is one electron. Okay, now when electron are moving towards it, when the cathode rays were moving In between, on their path, in between they met with the hydrogen atoms, and when they met with the hydrogen atoms, they knock out this electron. Okay, when they knock out this electron, what is left behind? जब एक इलेक्ट्रॉन बाहर निकल गया, so what is left behind? The positively charged residue. So we can write it like this. This is the hydrogen atom. By the bombardment of electrons on this hydrogen atom, it forms H plus and one electron. And this H plus, it is called as a proton. Nothing else, it is only the proton, because we can see in the nucleus there is one proton and zero neutron and one electron. When this electron is coming out, it is left behind positively charged residue, and it was called as proton. Okay, so when we are talking about the hydrogen gas, the positively charged residue is called as proton. So if somebody asks you what do you mean by protons, they are the positively charged residues. When in the discharge tube we are taking the hydrogen gas, by the bombardment of the electrons on the atoms of hydrogen, it leads to the formation of protons. Okay, now we will discuss the properties of anode rays. What are the various properties of the anode rays? Like the same, they are also having the same properties as the cathode rays. First, they also travel in straight line. They travel in straight line. How you will prove that they travel in straight line, students? Like in the cathode ray tube experiment, we saw that if a paddle wheel is placed in their path, they just cast the, if any, not only paddle wheel, if any object is placed in their path, they cast its shadow behind. So it shows that they are traveling in straight line. Second one, they are made up of material particles. Made up of material particles. How you will prove this? How we will prove that they are made up of material particles? Because if a paddle wheel is placed in the path of these anode rays also, they will rotate it. That means they are having the momentum as well as energy. That means they are made up of they are having some mass, they are having some energy, and they are having some momentum. So it shows that they are made up of material particles. Third, electric field. When electric field was applied in their path, they deflect towards the negatively charged plate. So we can say that they are having the positive charge. So we will write they deflected in positive, they deflected in electric field towards negatively charged plate. What does it shows? Showing that they are a beam of positively charged particles. Okay, so in the electric field, when it was applied, they move towards, they deflect towards negatively charged plate, showing that they are carrying the positive charge. Now, the next point, they also deflect in the magnetic field. Also get deflected in magnetic field. Okay. Next point, as the cathode rays were causing the ionization of gas, same here, these anode rays also causes ionization of gases. What is ionization of gases, students? Here atoms were there, gaseous atoms were there. When electrons bombarded them, then they converts them into ions. So same here, they also converts the gaseous atoms into ions. Next point, cathode rays were showing the penetration power. That means they can pass through thin metal foil. They can also pass through thin metal foil. Pass through thin metal foil. Okay. They were producing producing the green fluorescence when they strike with the fluorescent material like zinc sulfide screen. They also produces flashes of light with zinc sulfide screen. What is the specialty of the zinc sulfide screen, students? That it is a fluorescent substance. So when they strike with zinc sulfide screen, they produces flashes of light. Now, nature. Important one. Nature of these gas is not same for all the gases. Nature of these anode rays is not same for all the gases. If you change the gas, if you take any other gas inside the discharge tube, then the nature will differ. So what we can say, nature of these rays depends upon the gas taken. These were different, they were different according to the gas which has been filled inside the discharge tube. Next point, specific charge. What is specific charge? Ratio of E by M. That is E by M ratio. See, in cathode rays tube experiment, we saw that specific charge or ratio of E by M remains constant. Whatever gas you are filling, whatever it is the material of the cathode, you changes, but the E by M ratio, it remains same. But here the ratio, that is the specific charge, depends on the nature of the gas taken. So we will write depends upon the nature, upon the gas taken. Okay. And last point, this ratio of E by M. This ratio of E by M was very less, small, was comparatively smaller than for electrons. So what does it shows? E by M ratio अगर कम आ रहा है तो it shows that their mass is more as compared to the electrons. So electrons का mass कम होता है तो E by M ratio ज़्यादा है. Anode rays के अंदर mass ज़्यादा है तो E by M ratio का क्या हो जाएगा? कम हो जाएगा. So here we have discussed about how the anode rays are produced and in what ways they are similar and in what ways they are dissimilar with the cathode rays. Now we will discuss about the protons, how much charge, mass, and who discovered the protons. Now we will discuss the proton. It can be represented like this. P, the symbol, +1 it is the charge, and comparative mass we are taking 1. H, that is the hydrogen atom, we had already discussed about this. And hydrogen atom, it is having the 1 charge, that is the 1 atomic number and atomic mass is 1. So we are also representing proton by this. Now the proton, it is discovered, it was discovered by Goldstein. Okay, now the name proton, it was given by Rutherford in 1911. Charge. The charge which is present on the proton is exactly equal to the electron, but it is positive. So we will write plus 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19 coulomb. In case of electrons, it is negative. Or in terms of ESU, 4.8 into 10 to the power minus 10 ESU, electrostatic unit. Now when we are talking about the mass of proton, it is 1.672 into 10 to the power minus 27 kg. Or if you are writing it in the terms of grams, it will be 1.672 into 10 to the power minus 24 grams. Okay. Now if you have to write the mass in terms of AMU, mass of proton in AMU. What is AMU? Atomic mass unit. In the first chapter we had discussed about this. What is one atomic mass unit? That means the atomic mass unit, when we had discussed the relative atomic mass, how we were calculated in terms of 1/12 of the mass of one atom of carbon 12, how much heavier it is. So here we will calculate by 1.672 into 10 to the power minus 27 kg when it is getting divided in terms of grams. Only students will take. When this mass of one proton, it was divided by the mass of 1/12 of one atom of carbon 12, that was equals to 1.66 into 10 to the power minus 1.66 into 10 to the power minus 24 grams. Then it comes out to be, the value it is 1.00727 AMU लिखेंगे हम यहाँ पे. Okay, so this is the mass of proton in terms of AMU. Specific charge value of this E by M, when we had calculated for the electrons, it was 1.76 into 10 to the power 11 coulomb per kg. And here in this case it is 9.58 into 10 to the power 7 coulomb per kg. See students, when you are taking the hydrogen gas in this discharge tube, this is the maximum value. Why? Because this M, it is smallest in case of hydrogen atom. So smallest value हम लेंगे. So this is the maximum value of anode rays, specific charge of anode rays. Okay. अच्छा, अब इसको अगर हम ग्राम्स में कन्वर्ट कर देंगे तो it will be 9.58 into 10 to the power 4 coulomb per gram. In grams also you can mention. Mass of 1 mole of proton. We will take this value 1.00727. Okay. AMU, when it is multiplied by Avogadro's number, then it gives the same value 1.00727, but in terms of grams. So this is the mass of 1 mole of proton. So in this way we can discuss the proton, how it was discovered, who discovered it, who gave the name, what is the charge, what is the mass present in terms of kilogram, in terms of gram, and in terms of AMU. Then we have discussed about the specific charge, that is the E by M ratio, 9.58 into 10 to the power 7 coulomb per kg, or in terms of gram it is 9.58 into 10 to the power 4 coulomb per gram. Okay, mass of 1 mole, it will be 1.00727 grams. Now, when the two fundamental particles were discovered, that is, first one was electrons, second one was protons. The Rutherford in 1920, he gave an idea that there should be another fundamental particle must be present in an atom which should be electrically neutral, but its mass should be equals to proton. Okay, so he gave an idea, and then later on in 1932, Chadwick, he bombarded the thin beryllium sheet with the alpha particles. He took the beryllium sheet, so we are just showing it by this. What is beryllium? Its atomic mass is, its atomic number, it is 4, and its mass number is 9. I hope students you must be clear with the difference in the atomic mass and the mass number. Okay, atomic mass is the, what is atomic mass? What is the atomic mass? It is the mass equals to the 1/12 of the mass of one atom of carbon 12. उसके respect में कितना mass है, relative mass, and mass number it is equals to the number of proton and neutron, that we are going to discuss in the next section. So here he took the beryllium sheet and he bombarded it with the alpha particles. What do you mean by alpha particles, students? Alpha particles are nothing but they are doubly ionized helium nuclei. Helium, it is having the atomic number 2 and mass number 4. That means inside this nucleus there are 2 proton and 2 neutron, and in the first shell it is having 2 electrons. Okay, when these 2 electrons are removed, so what is left behind here? What is left behind? +2 charge on the helium nuclei. Okay, so what is alpha particles? These are the doubly ionized. These are the doubly ionized helium nuclei. Okay, when alpha particles bombarded the beryllium sheet, it leads to the production of some radiations which were not affected by any electric or magnetic field. So what was formed? Carbon 612, atomic number it is 6 and mass number it is 12, and along with this some particles were formed which were electrically neutral, but their mass was almost equals to that of proton. So he discovered, who? Chadwick. The credit goes to Chadwick for the discovery of the neutron. Okay, now we will write down, we will summarize as we have done for the electron and proton. What is the charge present on this neutron? 0. Okay, how much mass is present? How much mass is there of neutron? See students, the mass of neutron is almost equal to that of proton. The proton was having 1.672. But here it is slightly higher, 1.675 into 10 to the power minus 27 kg. There was 1.672, here it is slightly higher, 1.675, or you can write in terms of grams, 1.675 into 10 to the power minus 24 grams. Okay, and when we talk about the E by M ratio, when you talk about the E by M ratio, because the charge is 0, so charge upon mass, it will also be the 0. They are the neutral. So charge की जगह हम यहाँ पे ये भी लिख सकते हैं neutral. They are not having any charge. Okay, so out of all the 3 fundamental particles which were discovered, electron, proton and neutron, they were the heaviest. They were the heaviest elementary particle in an atom. Okay. So till now we have discussed about the discovery of electron, proton and neutron. In the next class students, we are going to discuss about the different atomic models.